What is going on, guys? Noah here with Custom RC Mods. Welcome back to a new video. Today we have the SpaceOne Meteor. This is a 5-inch quad, and I recently did an unboxing with this, as well as another unboxing of a different quad. So it's a double unboxing video I just posted to my channel. If you have not seen that, I'll leave a link to it in the description below. But yeah, I'm really excited for this because this is really my first jump into larger quads, at least larger homemade quads. I do have a Mavic, but of course, as you know, these race drones are a lot different. My Gremlin back there got me hooked, but I'm really excited for this because it's gonna teach me the ropes and everything that goes into tuning and getting one of these beasts airworthy, because there's a lot of separate components on here. But yeah, let's just go ahead and run through the specs of this. Again, like I said, I got it on RC groups in the multi-rotor classifieds. I'm not gonna state who I bought it from or the price just for confidentiality, but it is the SpaceOne Meteor 5-inch frame, which is a nice frame. It's a little bit different. I mean, not exactly my style, but the nice thing about this is that it's a starter. I can crash with it, I can break it, and it's not really going to be the end of the world. The nice thing I like about this is that it is fairly small, and it has plenty of layers of carbon fiber. However, the only real cosmetic, actual carbon damage here is that this plate right here, as you can see, is cracked, but it's not too big of a deal because it's the thinner lower battery plate that kind of just holds on this piece of foam and kind of ties the bottom together. However, that's not where the main center strength is coming from. But yeah, it is a different little design with these kind of curved arms, but it does have plenty of motor protection as well. But that's all I'm going to say about that. I've never flown it, of course. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the motors now. These are from Emax. They are the RS2205 motors right here. They're a little bit smaller than the industry standard freestyle size, which is like 2207 or 2306, but they're definitely going to get the job done here. And I did also get an extra set of bells, which is super nice because, again, as you might know, when you're racing or you're flying in general, as a beginner, at least for me, I'm probably going to crash, and the motors way out here on the ends are probably going to be the first things to break. So that's going to be a good thing to have some extra bells on there. As well as I also got an extra RunCam Mini Swift, and that is the camera that we have on the front here as well. So yeah, RunCam Mini Swift for the camera. This is a Lumineer, a 200 milliwatt VTX, so super nice name brand quality. It is only 200 milliwatts, but it's not that big of a deal. At least it's not going to have too many thermal issues. And the main FC board itself is a Holybro Kakude, I don't know, F4. It's all on board with OSD, so that's super nice as well, and hopefully it should be pretty easy to tune in beta flight. I have gotten to know the ropes tuning up my Gremlin. And the ESCs, I'm not totally sure what they are. I believe they're 30 amp, but they're nothing really special. And you can see right here, they do have this weird electrical tape that I'm going to go ahead and take off and go ahead and replace with my own tape of some sort as well. I'm not totally sure what we're going to do with this quite yet, but I'm going to go ahead and jump over the time lapse so that we can go ahead and get things installed here in a minute. So yeah, this is my receiver of choice here. This is a Spectrum receiver. This one didn't come with a receiver, of course. It's a 4648 auto bind 3.3 volt receiver. So I'm going to have to go ahead and redirect my power, and then go ahead and also make sure the FC board knows that we're running Spectrum. Go ahead and flip it back from inverted S-bus back to normal for the Spectrum stuff. And then for my battery, at least for testing today, I'll be using this 1300 milliamp hour 4S pack that I normally use in like the Bloody Baron and the Vigan, things that require 4S batteries. But this is probably best for this smaller little 5-inch quad as well. And then my props that we'll be running is these Racecraft 5-inch. I'm not totally sure on the specs here, but they're Racecraft. They have glitter on them. They're like golden. I mean, they're interesting props, and they're included with this deal, so I'm just going to go ahead and use them. And at least these, somewhat ugly looking to me, props can be broken first if I do get in a crash, which I will. Yeah, obviously Spectrum transmitter here, DX6 Gen 3, good to go in that sense. And we will be tuning in beta flight on my MacBook Pro, so hopefully that should all work out. Yeah, I don't really have a clear vision of where this is going to go. There's going to be some troubleshooting, of course. Hopefully I don't overfry this, Spectrum receiver that only runs on 3.3 volts, rather than, of course, as right now it's tuned in 5 volts. So yeah, I'm going to stop the rambling. I'm not exactly sure where we're going with this, but I'm going to go ahead and pop the top here, disassemble the stack, get my soldering iron out, make a few little changes to suit my needs, and we should be good to go. So yeah, I'm going to send you up to the time lapse, and when we're done, we're going to go ahead and take it out for a hover test. Alright guys, so the SpaceOne Meteor has been completed. It's about an hour and a half later. I went ahead and tore this thing down, got a few things configured just the way I wanted it to, then rebuilt some things, and we are here and we are good to go. Let's just go ahead and run through some things real quick. First things first, my SPM 4648 DSMX receiver is mounted below the flight controller here. There's a nice gap in the standoffs. Thankfully with these HolyBro flight controllers, they actually can be hard mounted because the gyro is soft mounted on foam tape on top. So that's really nice because I don't have to worry about things touching and getting in the way. Of course, I just wrap my receiver in electrical tape. I could have used heat shrink tubing, but I didn't have any that big on hand. So yeah, we are good to go in that measure. And it's really nice because then I can go ahead and stick my receivers out in a V shape on the lower arms. I was originally planning to mount my receiver in this open space up below the top plate. However, being such a small little frame here, you can see these props don't leave a lot of clearance, and even my Emax Pagoda antenna is really kind of, in a little bit of a pinch for space, so we got to make sure that that stays in place as well. So yeah, another thing I want to mention is that we do have this RunCam Mini Swift right here, and I went ahead and torqued it down to 30 degrees, which is my desired camera up tilt angle. Especially, I'm not going to be flying that fast as I'm trying to master my skills, but of course that can grow with me as we go. And other than that, all the wiring looks good. Had to go ahead and resolder my Spectrum receiver in to a 3.3 volt pad rather than the 5 volt pad. And get it uninverted, things like that. So we're good here, and I'm really happy with it altogether. And obviously, also we have the Tattoo 1300 milliamp hour 4-cell 75C pack down below. And I was finding it pretty interesting that this only actually really supports one battery strap. The slot is really only big enough for one. So I'm probably going to go ahead and add some Velcro on top of that foam pad just for a little bit of an extra insurance policy on this drone. And another thing I do want to talk about is my electrical tape job on these arms. I went ahead and fully coated the arms, all the way from the motor to the flight controller pretty much with electrical tape. Made it nice and neat and clean. The other one had different colors and things like that. It just didn't really look nice in my opinion. And if you guys know me, I like aesthetically pleasing things, and that's why I have a lot of airplanes that I keep around and keep nice. And then I'm quick to scrap them when they get bad. So yeah, other than that, we are running those racecraft props. Still don't exactly know the specs on those, but they seem really nice, high pitch, as well as they have vortex generators. So I'm not totally sure. They should be pretty quiet and smooth. But again, I have not flown this thing yet. So yeah, we've got my radio on here, the DX6 Gen 3, and we've got my screen on just to show you the preview here. I went ahead and configured everything in Betaflight, Spectrum receiver, all my motors, things like that. Just the basics there. I didn't add any special PIDs or any special filtering on there quite yet. We're just going to go ahead and give this thing a solid hover test on the stock rates, of course, and just see how it kind of flies. But let's go ahead and plug this thing on in and see what happens. So we've got all of the motors ready, and the flight controller is initializing, getting that accelerometer calibrated in there. So on my DX6, we've got my arm switch back here, and then we've got my 3 modes. And then you can see right here we've got the Lumineer VTX transmitting perfectly over to my screen. And we've got, of course, the image from the RunCam Mini Swift. And there is a nice, very crowded OSD in here. I haven't really messed with it. We've got the artificial horizon. We've got the horizon acro angle mode indicator, all my voltages, everything that I really could ever want, which is going to be super convenient while flying. I normally rely on timers and things like that when flying airplanes, and past when flying my Gremlins. So this is going to be really nice so I can see the direct voltages and just make sure that I'm playing it safe. Anyway, let's go ahead and arm this thing up. As you can see right here, these motors are super smooth. I'm of course not going to rev it up just because I don't want to lose my fingers or hurt something or someone in the house. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and take it out so that we can go ahead and hover test this thing. Unfortunately, it's late at night, so I'm going to catch up with you guys tomorrow outside to hover test it. Alright guys, so it's the next day. We're outside. The conditions are calm, and it's time to go ahead and do the SpaceOne Meteor hover test. I've got my DX6 right here. We are in acro mode. I've got everything fired up. You can see my motors do arm properly, and I'm really excited to get this done. So I guess there's not much to it but to do it at this point. So let's go ahead and see if it hovers. And she's up. Very smooth. Very smooth on these racecraft props. Rates feel good, feel nice and tuned. That's one thing I did not do. I did not mess with the previous owner's tune.
At least for the beginning, I like to just keep it how it is. I don't erase the chip or anything. So yeah, it looks good. It hovers at about 3rd throttle. Feels really solid overall. Really, really solid. I mean, it has a lot of power, but again, it's not very loud too. So this feels really, really put together. Very snappy. I'm not sure about these rates. I think that they're probably right similar to my typical rates, but we'll have to go into FPV and take a flight with it in the next video. But feels really, really good. But yeah, this just feels super, super put together all around. Just trying to do, in my hovers at least, we're not totally comfortable with this, so I'm not going to do any flips. I'm just going to do rolls just to kind of maintain orientation front to back at least. And then I know it's not going to come at me and hurt me or my house behind me. It responds to throttle blips very, very well. That's good. These props are very smooth, very smooth. I think it's the vortex generators on them. I'm a big fan of that. Very stable overall. Let's go ahead and land it now. That is it, guys. That's the SpaceOne Meteor. I'll be publishing a FPV flight video with this very soon. So stay tuned for that. But now I gotta go back inside and get to work on that Schizo Nova quad that you saw with the unboxing on this. Yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Please go subscribe if you like this sort of content. Comment down below if you have questions. With that said, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.